First, what do you make of these latest developments?
I think these were developments that were waiting to happen. The South has some very serious issues that need to be addressed, and yet their representatives were not included in the United Nations-led talks in Stockholm in December last year.
Was the move a mistake, or was it a show of force, do you think?
I think it was a show of force, and the separatists' statements have been carefully calibrated. They do continue to avow their loyalty to the Hadi government, but the facts on the ground are actually different. They have taken over positions, and indeed a statement earlier today said, yes, we accept a ceasefire, but it made no mention of withdrawal. So as your report said, they may be withdrawing from the streets, but it's unlikely that they're going to give up all the military installations. One of their spokesmen said earlier today that it's not a case of using the term withdrawal because we are protecting these bases. So they're, in a sense, trying to have it both ways, trying to show their control of Aden and at the same time trying to show that they're not going against the coalition.
And how might that translate now as regards to the already stalled peace efforts? Does the South maybe need to be represented, as you mentioned, in those UN talks?
Yes, the South does need to be represented, as do other voices from around Yemen. The talks that happened in December last year were only between the Houthis and the Hadi government, and there are, of course, many other warring sides in this conflict. Peace will never translate into something tangible on the ground unless more voices are included. The international community and the UN, to some extent, has taken its eye off the ball a little in focusing so heavily on the agreement for a ceasefire around Hodeidah. There are many other pressing issues, and these are going to continue to bubble up unless they're addressed.
And how does all this translate for the population and the humanitarian situation on the ground?
Very badly. The population on the ground is already suffering massively. We have about 80% of the population in need of some kind of humanitarian assistance. The violence in Aden is going to further impede the entry of urgent humanitarian food and medical